Hello everybody, welcome back to the Forever Bedrock SMP, and welcome to the Copper Jungle. So as you guys can tell, I am currently aging all of this copper to oxidize it, and this is actually a really tedious process. The good thing is though, in between episodes guys, I did go mining, so we have, I think I mined up 14 stacks of ore for copper. And then Joe actually stopped over and gave me a shulker box of 10 stacks of copper. And then, part of my helping other Forever Bedrock members, Freb needs birchwood. So I told Freb that I would drop him off 8 stacks of logs because you guys know we have tons of them from mining all the trees around here. So I'm going to go drop those off, and he actually himself has another shulker box of copper. So, if I do the math correctly, a whole shulker box of copper is roughly 1,700 blocks. And yes, I actually did use a calculator this time, so we know that's right. But 2 of those is about 3,400, give or take. So, I'm estimating we're going to need close to 5,000 oxidized copper blocks. And I don't know if that's even going to be enough, but it's at least a good start. Ooh, we had another one oxidized. These are oxidizing so weird. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a little break from smelting because I've been doing that for over an hour. And I really should build more of the blast furnaces. But we're going to go drop these logs off over at Freb's. And he's going to go ahead and give us the copper that he has for us. Well, thankfully Freb's base is only a 30 rocket flight away. He's still basing in his old base. He hasn't moved out here yet. He wants to finish this up. So I need to remember how to get out of this place. I think it's this one. Oh, I hope it's this one. Okay, good. So he said that the copper was in a chest outside in front of his base. Now, the question is, which chest? I wonder if it's this out. This one. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. So we have Fred's logs. So I'm going to go ahead and take the copper. All that diorite in there is, of course, for D-Ski. Remember, we dropped some off for him last episode, and he said basically all hands on deck, and we're all kind of helping each other out to start this season because we all have massive projects. So we'll go ahead, snag that, and then I'll go ahead and replace it with Bert's logs. And hopefully Freb remembers that this is to help me get to 100 subscribers. Is this all diorite? Yes, okay. So that is definitely another good start here in terms of copper. Now that's oxidized. That's wax oxidized. Okay. So I can go ahead and unwax that. But that gives us, what is that? 9, 10, about 11 and a half stacks plus these. So about 12 stacks of copper. So we are rolling right now in the copper. So let's go ahead and head back to our base. And is this how I go? This is how I go. This place is like a maze, I swear. He just built this to confuse me. But we're going to go ahead and head back to our base, and we are going to continue smelting up this copper, and we'll see just how many blocks we have left. Because, you know, that way we can at least know how much we have to build with, right? So, we have some big stuff to talk about here, guys. So, as you can tell, I am still in the copper jungle. So, I've AFK'd this for almost 5 hours now, and this stuff is taking forever to oxidize. And I'm not just exaggerating, this stuff is literally taking forever. So, with that being said, I don't think we're going to be able to get to building, and if we do, it's just going to be a very small part of our ship. But we do have some big news. So, me and D-Ski hopped in a call together, and we were trying to figure out, you know, where to put, like, the iron farm, the trading hall, and all that good stuff. So we agreed to split up building the trading hall and the iron farm. So the trading hall is actually going to be right over this mountain right here. And this is where the trading hall is going to be located. So pretty close to us, which is actually really awesome. And then if we fly just over here, and we go past this little village right here, as you can see there's a bunch of rail carts. He set up a villager breeder over here. So from here, we are going to build an iron farm right here. And he actually tasked me with building the iron farm. So we have to build an iron farm for the server, which is pretty cool because you guys know that we did do one in our single player world that we played on. So I'm pretty excited about that. Also, while we were talking, we were kind of looking for a shopping district area, and I happened to stumble upon this hole, and there's this massive cave under here. And I mean, this thing goes on for probably like 250 blocks, plus it's pretty wide. So what we're going to do is this season we're going to build the shopping district underground. So you're going to start seeing shops pop up here pretty soon, probably, because what we're doing is we're just moving what we sold in the old shopping district. Remember I said we aren't tearing that down. And we're just going to move our inventory over here to sell it, so that way it's more centralized. So we're going to have a bunch of really cool underground builds. And the even cooler thing is, the shopping district is right next to my base. So I'm going to sit here a little bit longer, see if we can get some of this copper oxidized, refresh myself on how to make an iron farm, because it has been a while. And yeah, I mean, 1.18 is definitely kicking off the right direction. Well guys, I've been sitting here for another hour waiting for this copper to oxidize, and this is just going to take a while. So I'm going to get started on the build. I mean, why not, you know? That's what we're here for. We're here to build. So the basic design I'm going to go for, and actually before we even start that, I'll show you guys how much copper, oxidized copper, I've gotten in 2 days. Mind you, a stack of this was given to me already oxidized. So 2 days of oxidizing copper, and I have like 41. And we are going to need thousands upon thousands upon thousands of oxidized copper to make this ship work. But we'll go ahead and we'll get started with what we have. So my idea in the beginning here is I need about half of these. I think I only need like 3 of those. Thankfully you get a ton of them. But what we're going to do is we are going to start with the staircase of the ship like right here. Okay? Probably somewhere actually closer to over here. And then that'll keep me away from, of course, the shopping district in case anybody like builds with like, you know, villagers using jobs or anything like that. And then we can go ahead and level out this terrain here and then make this whole mountain red. Over here will be Olympus Mons, the giant volcano. And then down in this valley over here, we can do Sidonia. And then we'll have the giant worm in that hole over there. So it'll kind of spread out the base and kind of make it more like, I don't know, base-like? Is that a word? So, if you guys know the Planet Express ship, the entry ramp kind of like comes down from like just below where they sit in the cab. So, we're going to start off with that. So, I want this staircase to be 5 wide. And now, this doesn't necessarily have to be centered because there technically is no center. So what I want to do is I kind of want to make an outline around the staircase, and that'll be the part that like fits back onto the ship. So like when the ship folds down, you know, the other half goes back up and meets it, makes like an airlock. So if we just start putting down blocks. So let's just say right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7. Okay, perfect. So what I want to do now is I am going to one more layer of these green here. So we'll go like that and that. Yes, this will work. It does not work if I screw up placing blocks. This is why I do not build on camera. So we go like that. All right, now we are cooking with propane, as they say. So we'll go ahead, toss down a temporary block right here. And then we'll make our staircase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's perfect. Okay, cool. So what I want to do is, like I said, I want this to be like, it looks like it folds back into the ship, so you wouldn't even know that a staircase like comes out of the ship. So we'll go ahead and we'll go like that. Okay, perfect. So now what we do is we just continue this up, and I'll go ahead and I'll finish this staircase. So, if I haven't made it clear yet this season, guys, we are going big. And we are going really big. So, I completed the staircase and I put the first ring of our build in. So, this is a 35 wide circle, I believe it is. And yeah, needless to say, this is going to require a ton of copper. So, I did the original ring here. And you guys remember I did use some of that copper to make this. But this was almost 2 stacks once around. And then this circle design, I need to continue back at least another 20 blocks. So it's probably going to end up somewhere, like say around here. Maybe a little further, maybe like here. Kind of just spitballing this. And then the ship tapers off towards like the flame thruster in the back. So this build might end up somewhere around this area in terms of size. Now, when I built the staircase, I freehanded that. I did lay out this circle and everything in creative mode, but the staircase was freehand, and the staircase kind of looks unsubstantial, I guess is the best way to say it. So we might have to change that. I don't know. And then you notice I started a red stripe on the sides. Don't mind that netherrack, but I started a red stripe on the sides, and that's because there is actually a red stripe that goes around the Planet Express ship. So that's kind of like where this top half from here forward would be like the cab. So basically where you would like fly the spaceship. And then this here is kind of like empty space, and I think I might try and fit some small farms in there. And then when you walk into the farm, you're not going to fall down, but instead you're actually going to walk into the storage system. And like I said, we are putting a mass item storage system in this season. So this will be the bulk of obviously this section of the ship, and then we'll taper back in some farms, animals, villager trading. We can do it all this season because we are going to have a big enough base and enough space. But I know you guys didn't come here to see me build a single ring out of copper, because even while building this took me over an hour, nothing oxidized. So, like I said, this oxidation process is going to be brutal, and I wish there was a way you could speed it up. But what I want to do is, I showed you guys where the shopping district's going to be, and obviously with the cab of the space shuttle coming out somewhere around this area, I think it's like another 30 blocks I have sketched out, you are going to be able to see this area over here. So I kind of want to claim it in a sense, but I mean, obviously it's going to be to get into the shopping district. And I want to put one of my beacons up here, and I want to use red stained glass. So we're going to put a quad beacon over here. We're going to have another one in that corner, another one in that corner, and another one in that corner. And then that way, theoretically, the whole base should be covered in beacons. So I guess for those of you who aren't that used to using beacons, we should probably go over like how to set up a beacon. So beacon, a fully powered beacon, requires 2 stacks of blocks. That could be iron, copper, gold, not copper, iron, gold, diamond, or of course netherite. And if you get a full stack of netherite, then you are insane. But it requires 2 stacks plus 36 blocks. So I have just enough in my inventory to set up the first beacon. And the reason I only have enough for 1 beacon is because I don't know how many more blocks it requires to set up more. It is less because you actually can build a beacon off of a beacon. And I know that might not make sense, but you will see what I'm talking about here shortly. Is this 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, riveting content, counting on camera. So we go ahead and finish up this beacon here. It should come to a perfect pyramid. It should be 9, 7, 5, 3 should be the layers. So we are getting close. This is the 2nd layer. This is the 7 layer. All right, perfect. And now this should be 25 because this is a 5 by 5. And then the top is a 3 by 3, so it's 9. So when I finish this, I should have 9 left. And I do. So that is perfect. All right, there we go. So beacon number 1. I'm going to set these up slowly. I really wish copper worked for these. But all right, that is beacon number 1, correct? So to add beacon number 2, I'm going to go grab another stack of iron. And of course, this stack of iron was contributed by none other than Joe himself. So, to build a second beacon onto this, all you have to do is place down another beacon, and we're actually going to put this one right here. So we have 2 blocks, so we have to build 3, and then we have to build 5, and then 7. Oop. And then you come down here, and you basically just add another row. So this is what I meant by building a beacon off of a beacon. So if I go ahead and chop that out, now I have to find my way back up here, of course, but we now have 2 fully powered beacons, and just to prove the point, I'll go ahead and toss 2 iron ingots in here. So we'll have this one set to, let's have this one set to haste and haste 2. Okay, that gives us haste 2, and then we'll have this one set to resistance and regeneration. We'll go ahead and click that. Now we should have 3 effects. All right, cool. So the other 2 will be jump boost and speed. So I'll go ahead and get those set up. Well, guys, I went ahead and marked out the area that a beacon covers, and it's about 50 blocks on the level we are. So 50 blocks that way, 50 blocks that way, 50 that way, and 50 that way. So we are going to have like a little bit of a dead space through here, and then obviously we'll have on that corner, that will be a dead space. We'll have a dead space. So what we're actually going to have to do is put a 5th quad beacon in our base somehow. But here is our beacon. Of course, we have speed 2, haste 2, strength 2, regeneration, and absorption. And I added red because, I mean, it's Mars, the planet's red. So pretty cool. First time I ever set up a quad beacon. Did not require as much iron as I thought, because once you get to the 4th beacon, all you have to do is add like 5 blocks. So it probably took maybe 3 and a little bit more stacks of iron blocks. So that's not terrible. So the next beacon I want to build, which is of course going to go over there, I want to make out of emerald blocks. And you guys remember last season I did a ton of trading with villagers, and that was to get emerald blocks for a quad beacon. The only problem is I only have 3 beacons on me. So guys, what I'm going to have to do in between episodes is, of course, go to the nether and get ourselves some more wither skulls. Thankfully, we do have a wither killer on the channel, and there is a video by D-Ski, outlining how to use it. One problem I just realized about this beacon is the render distance on beacons, because, like I said, the cab is going to be somewhere out here. So we might get lucky and be able to see the beacon, because look how close I have to be to get this light to spawn in. And our cab is not going to be here. So we might actually have to move this beacon in, and we might actually scooch this beacon in that we were planning over here. And like I said, I do have 3.5 stacks of emerald blocks, so I think we have more than enough to complete the beacon. So before we put our next beacon in, I think we should, of course, oxidize some more copper and get the cab built. That way it'll give us a general area where we need to be to see our beacons and at least make them, worthwhile. So guys, I know this episode might have been short and uneventful, but when you're planning a mega base like this, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and working with copper that refuses to oxidize makes it even more challenging. So this project is going to be massive, and I am actually pretty happy with it. But that's going to conclude today's episode, guys. Next episode, I'm going to try and AFK as much as I can in between episodes. I actually filmed this episode early to do that, to get a bunch of copper so we can do some major progress on our base. We're going to go ahead and build the iron farm. I don't think that'll take too long. And we'll also get maybe a shop or 2 set up in our underground base so we can start selling logs and, of course, moss. So, guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and as always, make sure you subscribe. We got to beat Joe to 100. We need more diamonds. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.